The boys laughed and ran, although no one was chasing them, and they knew no one was likely to. "Nosy old bag," one of them shouted back, although it was hard to see which with their hoods so low on their faces. Letty hurried in, breathless and alarmed. "What was that?" But Stephen's Nan was back in the window. She didn't look round at her daughter. "Is tea ready?" she said. Stephen walked off the moor with his anorak slung over one shoulder and his T-shirt soaked and steaming with recent effort. The track, carved through the heather by generations of walkers, was thick with mud. He stopped, his rusty spade slung over his other shoulder like a rifle, and looked down at the village. The street lamps were already on, and Stephen felt like an angel or an alien, observing the darkening dwellings from on high, detached from the tiny lives being lived below. He ducked instinctively as he saw the three hoodies run down the wet road. He hid the spade behind a rock near the slippery stile. It was rusty, but still, someone might take it, and he couldn't carry it home with him. That might lead to questions he could not, or dared not, answer. He walked down the narrow passage beside the house. He was cooling now, and shivered as he took off his trainers to run them under the garden tap. They'd been white once, with blue flashes. His mum would go mad if she saw them like this. He rubbed them with his thumbs and squeezed the mud out of them until they were only dirty, then shook them hard. Muddy water sprayed up the side of the house, but rain washed it quickly away. His grey school socks were heavy and sodden. He peeled them off, his feet a shocking cold white. "You're soaking!" His mother peered from the back door, her face pinched and her dark blue eyes as dull as a northern sea. Rain spattered the straw hair that was dragged back into a small, functional ponytail. She jerked her head back inside to keep it dry. "I got caught in it." "Where were you?" "With Louis." This was not strictly a lie. He had been with Louis, immediately after school. "What were you doing?" "Nothing, just, you know." From the kitchen he heard his Nan say, "He should come straight home from school." Stephen's mother glared at his wetness. "Those trainers were only new at Christmas." "Sorry, Mum." He looked crestfallen. It often worked. She sighed. "Tea's ready." Stephen ate as fast as he dared, and as much as he could. Letty stood at the sink and smoked, and dropped her ash down the plug hole. At the old house, before they came to live with Nan, his mum used to sit at the table with him and Davy. She used to eat. She used to talk to him. Now her mouth was always shut tight, even when it held a cigarette. Davy sucked the ketchup off his chips, then carefully pushed each one to the side of his plate. Nan cut little pieces off her breaded fish, inspecting each with a suspicious look before eating it. "Something wrong with it, Mum?" Letty flicked her ash with undue vigour. Stephen looked at her nervously. "Bones." "It's a fillet. Says so on the box. Place fillet." "They always miss some. You can't be too careful." There was a long silence in which Stephen listened to the sound of his own food inside his head. "Your chips, Davy?" Davy screwed up his face. "They're all wet." "Should have thought of that before you sucked them, shouldn't you?" "Shouldn't you?" At the repeated question, Stephen stopped chewing, but Nan's fork scraped the plate. Letty moved swiftly to Davy's side and picked up a soggy chip. "Eat it." Davy shook his head, and his lower lip started to wobble. With quiet spite, Nan murmured, "Leaving food. Kids nowadays don't know they're born." Letty bent down and slapped Davy sharply on the bare thigh below his shorts. Stephen watched the white handprint on his brother's skin quickly turn red. He loved Davy, but seeing someone other than himself get into trouble always gave Stephen a small thrill, and now, watching his mother hustling his brother out of